I held the flowers in my hands like they were the only thing keeping me from trembling completely. Calm down, Aram, I whispered to myself, stepping out of the car. It's just a normal night. Nothing can go wrong. My heart hammered so loudly I was sure Mira would hear it from inside the apartment. I ran my fingers over the petals, the scent of roses making my stomach twist with nerves. Tonight was the night. Tonight, I was going to ask her to marry me. I pressed the buzzer for her floor, hearing her voice greet me as usual. Hey, Aram. Come up, she said cheerfully. I smiled, trying to steady myself. Yeah, just a second, I said, mumbling under my breath, you're going to say yes, Mira. You're going to say yes. I stepped into the elevator and felt my palms go slick. I counted each floor silently, my heart beating faster with every ding. 10, 11, 12. I reached her door and pressed my hand against it, suddenly terrified that this could be the moment everything changed. I unlocked it, my key trembling slightly in my hand. And then I heard it, the laughter. That stupid, familiar laugh, not hers. What the? I froze mid-turn. My eyes widened as I stepped inside, and there they were. Mira, pressed against Ryan, my best friend for 10 years, lips locked in a kiss that burned me from the inside out. I didn't even know what I wanted to say first. What the hell is going on? I finally managed, my voice cracking. They both jerked apart, as if the sound of my voice had struck them physically. Myra's face went pale, and Ryan looked like a deer caught in headlights. Aram, Myra's voice was soft, hesitant. I can explain. Explain? I took a step forward, my hands clutching the flowers like a lifeline. Explain what? That you've been cheating on me with my best friend? That you've, my voice broke, and I had to pause, trying not to collapse. Ryan swallowed hard. Aram, man, listen. Listen? Listen? I shouted, my knees almost giving out. You're supposed to be my friend, Ryan. My best friend. How could you do this to me? Mira stepped forward, her voice trembling. Aram, please, you have to understand. I need someone stable, someone successful. You have no future, and I can't. I blinked, thinking I misheard her. No future? You're leaving me, for what? Money? Success? My future? Is that it? She avoided my gaze, twisting her fingers nervously. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you, but I can't be with someone who can't give me what I need. My stomach dropped. You can't be with me because I'm not enough? After everything? After 10 years? You throw that all away for what? A paycheck? A title? Ryan finally found his voice. Aram, grow up. Stop being weak. You've always been too soft, man. She deserves better. You know it. My hands shook violently, and I threw the flowers to the floor. Petals scattered like my heart had scattered across the apartment. Stop talking. You don't get to talk to me, Ryan. You don't get to say anything. I could barely breathe, my chest tight, lungs refusing to take in air. Myra's eyes welled with tears. Aram, please. I never wanted it to hurt you like this. I just needed more from life. You can't blame me. I laughed, a hollow, broken sound. Blame you? Blame you? Do you even hear yourself? You destroyed me. You destroyed my life in one night. My heart, my trust, gone. And for him? I pointed at Ryan, my voice shaking with rage and pain. My best friend. The guy who was supposed to have my back. Ryan stepped forward, hands raised. Aram, it's not like that. Stop. I screamed, my throat raw. Just stop talking. Every word out of your mouth is poison right now. Myra's tears fell freely. Aram. I really am sorry. I never meant to. You never meant to? I echoed, voice trembling. Do you even understand what that means? You knew exactly what you were doing. Every lie, every smile you gave me, it was a mask, wasn't it? A mask. Ryan's face twisted, angry now. You think you're perfect? You think you've done nothing wrong? Aram, you're too naive. Too soft. Too slow. She made the choice that's best for her. You should have grown up instead of crying all the time. I could feel my knees weaken. I stumbled back against the wall, my eyes darting around the apartment like I was trying to find something to hold on to, anything to make this nightmare stop. I couldn't think. I couldn't breathe. My mind went blank, replaying every moment, every laugh, every promise. You were supposed to be mine, I whispered, barely audible. I loved you more than anything, and this is how you repay me? Mira flinched, like my words had struck her physically. Aram. I don't. Just don't. I shook my head, tears streaming down my face. I don't want to hear it. I don't want your excuses. I don't want your apologies. I want my life back. But it's gone. All of it. Because of you. Ryan scoffed. Life doesn't work that way, man. You think crying makes it better? Get over it. Stop living in the past. I laughed, bitter and hollow. Over it? How am I supposed to just get over it? The girl I wanted to marry, the friend I trusted most, gone. Just like that. Over it? Myra's sobs broke the silence, and for a moment, I almost felt pity. Almost. But then I remembered every lie, every betrayal, every secret smile shared behind my back. That pity turned to ice in my chest. I hope you're happy, I said quietly, voice breaking. I hope it was worth it. I hope you realize one day what you've destroyed. Ryan rolled his eyes. You're pathetic, man. Really. Crying in the hallway over something that's done. Grow up. I didn't answer. I turned slowly, walking toward the door. Each step felt like a knife in my chest, but I couldn't stop. I had to leave. I had to escape before I broke completely. Mira called out, her voice trembling. Aram, please, wait. I shook my head without turning. No. Don't speak to me. Not anymore. I can't hear another word from you. Ryan muttered under his breath, he'll never be the same. I ignored him. I opened the door, stepping out into the cold night. Rain poured down like the world itself was mourning with me, soaking me to the bone. I stood there for a long moment, feeling the chill crawl into my bones. My chest ached, my heart shattered. The world I thought I knew, the life I thought I had, was gone. I whispered to myself through the rain, voice barely audible over the storm. Everything I had, gone. A car drove past, splashing water over my legs. I didn't care. I didn't feel anything except emptiness. My hands were cold, numb, and trembling, my mind spinning with memories and betrayal. I trusted you, I muttered to the night, to Mira, to Ryan. I trusted both of you. And you threw it all away. For what? A flash of anger surged through me, hot and consuming. I'll never forget this. I swear. I will never forget. I turned and walked down the street, my shoes splashing through puddles. Every step felt heavier than the last, but I kept moving. I couldn't go back. I couldn't turn around. My life was over, and yet somehow, I had to keep breathing. Somehow, I had to survive. The rain soaked through my clothes, and my teeth chattered, but I didn't care. Nothing mattered anymore. Mira. Ryan. Everything I loved. Everything I trusted. All gone. I sank against a lamppost, shivering violently, the flowers abandoned behind me, petals floating in the rain like little pieces of my broken heart. My chest heaved as I gasped for air, the cold air burning my lungs. I whispered once more, voice hoarse and trembling. You destroyed my life. And for the first time, I let myself sob, the sound lost in the storm, unheard and unchecked. My world had ended tonight, and I had no idea how to begin again. The morning after, I woke up on the couch with my head pounding, the rain from last night still clinging to my clothes and hair. I stared at the ceiling, my mind replaying every detail of what I'd seen. Myra's words, Ryan's smug face, the laughter, it all kept looping like a broken record. I didn't want to move. I didn't want to live. Aram? Are you awake? Aisha's voice came from the kitchen. I didn't answer. I pretended to be asleep, wishing she'd leave me alone. Aram, I know you're up. You can't hide from me forever. Her tone was gentle but firm. I groaned, turning my head. I'm fine. Just tired. You're lying. I can tell. You've been lying to yourself for months. She stepped closer, kneeling beside me. What happened last night? I swallowed hard, staring at the floor. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter? Her eyebrows shot up. Aram, you were crying on the floor when I got here. You barely ate anything. Your eyes, you look like someone died inside you. I shook my head. No one died inside me, just everything I thought I knew. Everything I trusted, gone. Aisha grabbed my hand. Tell me. Talk to me. You can't keep this bottled up. I let out a bitter laugh. Bottled up? It's not bottled. It's shattered. Mira, she betrayed me. With Ryan. Her eyes widened. Ryan? Your best friend? I nodded. 10 years, Aisha. 10 years of friendship. 10 years of trust. And they threw it all away. For nothing. I don't even know what they wanted. Money? Stability? They said I had no future. Can you believe that? No future. Aisha squeezed my hand tighter. I'm so sorry, Aram. I can't imagine how that feels. It feels like I've been stabbed in the chest, I said, my voice shaking. And the worst part is, everyone says I'm strong. Everyone says I'll bounce back. But what if I can't? What if this emptiness, never goes away? She frowned. Aram, you will. You have to. You're stronger than you think. I laughed bitterly. Stronger? I watched the two people I loved most in the world laugh while I stood outside their little betrayal scene. Strong? That's not strength, Aisha. That's survival. Barely surviving. She looked me in the eyes, her voice soft but firm. You survived this far. You'll survive the next part too. You just need to let yourself feel it, and then start moving forward. I shook my head. I don't know if I can move forward. Everything feels hollow. Empty. I can't even look at my phone without seeing their names and remembering what I lost. Aisha pulled me into a hug. I'm here. I won't let you drown in this alone. You're not alone, Aram. Not now. I buried my face in her shoulder, feeling a mix of anger, sadness, and relief. I thought I could handle anything. I thought I was strong. But this broke me. You're not broken, she whispered. You're hurt. And it's okay to be hurt. You'll heal, but only if you let yourself. I pulled back, wiping my tears. Heal, how? How do you heal when the people you trusted most used you? Aisha's expression softened. By not letting them define you. By remembering that their choices are theirs, not yours. You're not Mira. You're not Ryan. You're Aram. And Aram is stronger than both of them combined. I laughed bitterly again. You make it sound so easy. Just move on, huh? No, she said firmly. It's not easy. It's a choice. Every day, you choose not to let this destroy you. Every day, you choose to fight. And I'll fight with you. I stared at her, the weight of her words sinking in. Fight against what? Against them? Against my own mind? Both, she said simply. But you're not alone. And you don't have to fight in silence. I wanted to believe her, but the emptiness in my chest screamed louder than her words. I feel like I'm drowning. Like every memory, every laugh, every promise, it's just water dragging me down. Aisha squeezed my hand again. Then grab onto me. I'm right here. You won't sink while I'm holding you. I let myself breathe, just a little, as her words wrapped around me like a lifeline. I don't know how long I can hold on. You'll hold on, she said, her voice unwavering. Because you have to. You'll hold on until you're ready to stand on your own again. And then, when you're ready, you'll rise higher than you ever imagined. I closed my eyes, trying to imagine it. Standing tall again. Feeling whole again. But the image was blurry, drowned by the memory of Mira and Ryan. My chest ached, my stomach twisted. They didn't just betray me, I whispered. They destroyed everything I thought I knew. My trust, my future, my love, gone in one night. And everyone expects me to just move on? Aisha shook her head. No one expects that, Aram. They just hope you survive. And you will. One step at a time. One day at a time. Right now, it's okay to be lost. It's okay to feel broken. But tomorrow you'll take one small step. I nodded slowly. Tomorrow, yeah. Maybe tomorrow maybe I can start thinking about moving forward. She smiled faintly. That's all I ask. One small step. And I'll be right there every step of the way. I stayed silent for a while, listening to the quiet hum of the apartment. The rain from last night had stopped, leaving a damp chill in the air. I could still feel it in my bones, the cold, the betrayal, the emptiness. But Aisha's presence grounded me, reminding me that maybe, just maybe, I could survive this. I feel hollow, I admitted finally. Like there's a hole where everything used to be. And I don't even know if it can be filled. Aisha's voice was steady, calm, and full of conviction. It will be filled, Aram. Not tonight. Not tomorrow. But it will. You have people who care about you, who love you. And you'll find strength you didn't know you had. I promise. I looked at her, the first spark of something resembling hope flickering inside me. Strength. I need it. I need it more than anything. Because if I don't know if I can survive the next day. You will, she said firmly. You have to. Because you are more than what they took from you. You are more than your heartbreak. You are more than their betrayal. And one day, you'll see that clearly. I nodded again, swallowing hard. I want to believe that. I really do. But right now, it hurts too much. I know, she said softly. And it's okay to hurt. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel broken. Just don't let it consume you entirely. I'll help you pick up the pieces. I let myself rest against her shoulder again, the weight of my grief pressing down, heavy and relentless. I feel like I'm drowning, I murmured. Like I'll never breathe again. You will, she whispered. I'll help you find your way back to the surface. One breath at a time, Aram. One breath at a time. The hours passed slowly. We didn't speak much after that, just sat in the silence, her presence a quiet anchor against the storm inside me. I thought about Mira, about Ryan, about the life I had before. And I felt the sharp sting of loss all over again. But I also felt something else, a tiny, fragile thread of hope. Maybe, just maybe, I could survive this. Maybe I could find myself again. Maybe one day, the hollow inside me would be replaced by something stronger, something better. I'll try, I whispered finally, my voice shaking. I don't know if I can, but I'll try. That's all anyone can ask, Aisha said, squeezing my hand one last time before leaving the room. And I'll be here. Always. Don't forget that. I watched her go, the apartment suddenly feeling emptier than before. I sank back into the couch, staring at the ceiling again, letting the quiet wash over me. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the pain, it was still there, heavy and suffocating. But for the first time since last night, I felt a flicker of something else. A spark of survival. And that was enough, for now. I sat in the empty apartment, the echoes of last night still rattling in my mind. Every memory of Mira and Ryan felt like a punch to my chest. I ran my hands over my face and muttered to myself, I can't keep living like this. I can't. I have to do something. My phone buzzed. It was a message from Zion, a coworker I barely knew but respected. Hey man, I know you've been down. Coffee tomorrow? I have something to show you. I stared at the screen for a long moment. Coffee, right. Maybe I need someone to remind me I'm still alive. I typed back, yeah, let's meet. The next morning, I met him at a quiet cafe. He waved me over, smiling. Aram. Long time, man. You look tired. Thanks for noticing, I said dryly, sliding into the seat across from him. Tired, yeah, that's one word for it. Broken is another. He frowned. I've heard about what happened. Mira and Ryan. That's awful. I shrugged, trying to hide how hollow I felt. Awful doesn't even cover it. It's like my life was a puzzle, and they threw the pieces into the wind. Zion leaned in, lowering his voice. Listen, I don't want to lecture you. But I think you've got something bigger in you. Something they can't touch. I've been working on a startup, Anne. I think you'd be perfect for it. I blinked, trying to process what he said. Startup? Me? I don't know if I'm capable anymore. He smirked. Trust me. You're smarter and tougher than you think. Besides, what do you have to lose? You've already lost the worst. I laughed bitterly. Lose the worst? I've lost everything. The girl I loved. My best friend. My trust in people. My everything. Zion nodded, serious now. Exactly. So you rebuild. You take control. You don't let them define you. You don't let them win. I stared at him, words catching in my throat. Rebuild, control, win, it sounds good in theory. But I've spent the last year barely surviving. And that's exactly why you need this, he said firmly. It's time to stop surviving, Aram. It's time to start living. I'll help you. You'll help me. Together, we can make something big. I sat back, considering. I don't know if I can. I've been broken. I don't even feel like myself anymore. Zion's gaze pierced me. Good. That means you're ready. Ready to grow, ready to fight, ready to change. You can't stay broken forever. And trust me, the world doesn't wait for people who give up. I swallowed, my mind racing. Change, fight, grow. It's been so long since I felt anything like hope. I don't even remember what it feels like. Then remember it now, he said. Step by step. We'll start small. One idea at a time. One success at a time. And you'll see, you'll be unstoppable. I nodded slowly, feeling a flicker of determination I hadn't felt in months. Okay, I'll try. But I need guidance. I need someone to push me, to make me see that I'm not useless. Zion smiled. That's my job. But remember, the real work comes from you. I can point the way, but only you can take the steps. I took a deep breath. All right. I'll do it. I'll try. I can't stay here feeling sorry for myself anymore. I need a purpose. Zion leaned back, nodding approvingly. Good. That's the first step. And I promise, by the time we're done, the people who hurt you? They'll see what they lost. I felt a surge of anger mixed with motivation. Yes. They'll see. Mira and Ryan, they'll regret what they did. But first, I have to focus on me. On building myself. Zion raised his cup. To rebuilding, to fighting, and to winning. I clinked my cup against his. To winning, and to never being weak again. The next few days, I threw myself into learning everything I could about starting a business. I spent hours reading, watching tutorials, asking questions. My apartment became a war room of notebooks, laptops, and sticky notes. Lena, a designer Zion brought in, entered the chaos with a calm energy. Wow, this place looks like a hurricane hit it. I chuckled, running my hand through my hair. Feels like one too. My life's been upside down for years, and now I'm trying to piece it back together. She raised an eyebrow. Trying? You're already doing it. The fact you're even here, ready to start over, that says a lot. I looked at her skeptically. You don't know the half of it. I've been broken, completely. Lena smiled faintly. We all have. The difference is, some of us decide not to stay broken. Looks like you've made that choice. I felt a small spark inside me. Yeah, maybe I have. Maybe it's time to stop blaming them and start building myself. But it's hard. Every time I think I'm making progress, I remember Mira. Ryan, the betrayal. It's heavy. Lena nodded. Heavy, sure. But you carry it differently now. You're using it to push forward, not drown in it. That's strength. I swallowed hard, looking at the scattered papers and plans on the table. Strength. I hope I have enough. I can't fail. Not now. I won't let them define me anymore. Zion clapped me on the shoulder. That's the spirit. You won't. Trust me, in a few months, you'll barely recognize yourself. And you'll be proud. Not just of the work, but of the person you've become. I took a deep breath, nodding. I need that. I need to be proud again. I can't live another year feeling worthless. I have to prove, to myself, to everyone, that I'm not weak. Lena smiled again. You're not weak, Aram. You're just awake now. And awake is dangerous. The world better watch out. I laughed softly, the sound rusty but real. Yeah, awake. Dangerous. I like that. It suits me. That night, I stayed up until dawn, working through plans, ideas, and strategies. I kept thinking of Mira, of Ryan, of the life I had lost. But this time, instead of letting it crush me, I let it fuel me. Every betrayal, every insult, every moment of humiliation became a spark for determination. I won't be weak anymore, I whispered to myself, pacing the apartment. I won't be broken. I won't let them win. Not now, not ever. I opened my notebook and wrote at the top of the first page, rebuild. Fight. Win. I stared at it for a long moment, feeling a sense of purpose I hadn't felt in months. Zion poked his head in, seeing me scribbling furiously. You really mean it, huh? I nodded without looking up. Every word. I've been broken for too long. It's time to become someone they'll regret underestimating. He grinned. Good. Because this is only the beginning. Once we get this startup rolling, you'll see how unstoppable you really are. I paused, feeling a mix of fear and excitement. Unstoppable, yeah. That's what I'll be. And one day, Mira and Ryan, they'll see what they lost. But for now, it's about me. My life. My choices. My future. Lena walked past, giving me a small nod. Focus on the work. Everything else will follow. I smiled faintly. Yeah, everything else will follow. And when it does, they'll know. They'll all know. For the first time in months, I went to bed that night with a sense of direction. A sense of purpose. A spark of hope. I didn't know what the future held, or if I'd be able to pull this off. But I knew one thing for certain, I had chosen to fight. And once you make that choice, there's no going back. I'm not a victim anymore, I whispered to the dark. I'm going to be someone they'll never forget. And with that, I closed my eyes, letting exhaustion take over, knowing tomorrow I'd wake ready to rebuild my life, one step at a time. The first week was brutal. Every morning, I forced myself out of bed like dragging a weight behind me. My body ached, my hands shook from exhaustion, but I kept going. Zion and I worked non-stop, bouncing ideas, brainstorming, failing, and starting over again. Aram, you're overthinking it, Zion said one evening, rubbing his temples. The concept is simple. We don't need 100 features right now. Just focus on one thing and do it well. I ran my hands through my hair, pacing the small office. I know. But what if it's not enough? What if I mess this up? What if I fail? He leaned back in his chair, smirking. Then you fail. Big deal. You'll get up, you'll try again. That's called progress. And trust me, you will get up. You always do. I stared at him, the fire in my chest burning. I can't afford to fail. Not this time. Not after everything. Relax, man. It's not life or death. Just a startup, he said, grinning. Although, with how much you hate losing, it might feel like it. I laughed despite the tension. Yeah, losing. I've been losing for too long. I'm not letting it happen again. That's when Lena walked in, carrying a stack of sketches. Here. I redesigned the interface like we discussed. Take a look. I leaned over her shoulder, scanning the designs. This is good. Actually, it's really good. She smiled faintly. I told you, you just have to trust people. You can't do everything alone, Aram. I felt a twinge of guilt but also gratitude. I know. I've been stubborn. But it's hard to trust after everything. Lena nodded knowingly. I get it. Betrayal leaves scars. But some people deserve your trust. You just have to learn to give it carefully. Zion clapped his hands. All right, enough talking. Let's implement it. Aram, you'll handle the back end with me. Lena, your designs go live tomorrow. I nodded, diving into the work. Hours passed in a blur. Lines of code, test after test, discussions, debates, arguments even. I could feel my mind sharpening, my focus returning. For the first time in months, I felt like I was building something, for me, not for anyone else. At one point, I leaned back, exhausted. I don't know how I'm doing this. It's overwhelming. Lena glanced at me, raising an eyebrow. Overwhelming? That's the fun part. If it wasn't hard, it wouldn't be worth it. I groaned. Fun? You're insane. This is exhausting, mentally and physically. I feel like I'm losing my mind sometimes. Zion chuckled. Good. That means you're growing. You're being challenged. And that's exactly what you need. You can't rebuild yourself without pressure. I rubbed my temples, feeling a flicker of determination through the fatigue. Pressure, challenge, yeah, I guess you're right. I don't want to feel weak again. Lena walked past, putting a hand on my shoulder. You won't. Not if you keep this up. Look at how far you've come in just a week. You're already stronger than yesterday. I smiled faintly. Stronger than yesterday. I like that. I can get used to that. Zion looked over, grinning. That's the spirit. Tomorrow, we pitch to our first investor. You ready for that? I froze for a second. Investor? Already? I guess, yeah. We can do it. We have to do it. Lena nodded. Confidence, Aram. You can't let fear stop you now. You've come too far. The night before the pitch, I stayed late, reviewing every detail. I talked aloud, rehearsing the presentation. Our product solves a simple problem efficiently. Our team is dedicated. Our plan is solid. We are ready. Zion poked his head in. Talking to yourself again? I chuckled. Yeah, gotta make sure I don't freeze in front of the investor. Relax, man. You won't freeze. You're too prepared. And honestly, I think they'll be impressed by how passionate you are. Lena joined us, smirking. Passion can't be faked. Aram's got it in spades. He's intense. And he knows exactly what he wants. I laughed softly, feeling a flicker of pride. I do know what I want. I want this. I want to build something real. I want to prove I'm not weak. That I can succeed on my own terms. Zion nodded approvingly. That's the mindset. Remember it when you step into that room tomorrow. Confidence. Passion. Purpose. The next day, we walked into the small office of the investor. I straightened my shirt, my hands sweating. Okay, here goes nothing. Lena gave me a quick smile. You've got this. Zion patted my back. Just speak from the heart, Aram. Don't overthink it. You've worked too hard not to. I took a deep breath as we entered. The investor, a stern-looking man with glasses, gestured for us to sit. So, tell me about this startup of yours. I stood, feeling the weight of every failure, every betrayal, every late-night fuel me. Our product solves a common problem efficiently. We've tested multiple iterations. The team is dedicated and experienced. And most importantly, we're passionate about making this work. He raised an eyebrow. Passionate, do you have numbers to back that up? I smiled faintly. Yes. Our early tests show a 40% increase in efficiency compared to existing solutions. And our projections indicate rapid scalability with minimal investment. Lena presented the visuals while I spoke. Every slide, every chart, every demonstration, I delivered with growing confidence. I felt my fear transform into focus, my doubt into determination. Zion whispered during a break, "See? Told you. You've got this." I nodded, feeling a rush of pride. Yeah. I'm doing it. I'm not broken. I'm capable. By the end of the meeting, the investor nodded. Impressive. I'll consider funding. You've clearly put a lot of work into this. I exhaled, feeling a mixture of relief and triumph. Thank you. That means a lot. Outside the office, Zion grinned. See? What did I tell you? You're unstoppable. I laughed softly, feeling the truth in it. Unstoppable, yeah. Feels good to say it. Lena nudged me. Don't forget, it's just the beginning. There's a lot more work ahead. I know, I said, looking at the horizon, a fire igniting in my chest. But for the first time, I feel like I'm building my own future. Not living in the ruins they left behind. Not looking back. Moving forward. Zion smirked. That's the Aram I know. The one who doesn't stay down for long. I nodded, the weight of the past still there but no longer paralyzing me. Exactly. No longer down. No longer broken. It's time to rise, from nothing. And for the first time in months, I felt a sense of purpose that wasn't tied to anyone else's approval. My life, my choices, my future, it was mine to build. And I was ready. The day we bought the failing marketing firm, I walked into the lobby and felt a strange mix of nerves and anticipation. The receptionist barely looked up. "Can I help you?" she asked. "Yes," I said, forcing a calm smile. "I'm here to meet the staff. I'm the new CEO." Her eyes flicked to my ID badge, and she nodded silently. Of course. The staff is in the main office. I stepped into the bright, corporate hallway, my heels clicking on the tiles. And then I saw them. Mira. Ryan. They froze mid-conversation, expressions turning to shock. My heart thudded, but I forced myself to remain calm. Hello, I said evenly. I'm Aram, your new CEO. Myra's mouth opened, then closed. She glanced at Ryan, confusion and fear flickering in her eyes. Aram. I didn't know. You didn't know? I echoed, raising an eyebrow. You didn't expect me to be here? Ryan's face twisted, a mix of anger and disbelief. Aram, this isn't, you can't. I stepped closer, deliberately slow, letting my presence fill the room. I am me, Ryan. The same person you underestimated, the same person you betrayed. Only now. I'm in control. Myra's voice trembled. Aram, I held up a hand. Don't even try to explain. I'm not here for apologies. I'm here to do my job. And my job is to make sure this company succeeds. Zion and Lena appeared behind me, flanking my sides. Zion gave a subtle nod. I could feel Lena's quiet confidence supporting me. Together, we looked like a team no one could challenge. Ryan scoffed. You think this changes anything? We've been running this company for years. And yet, it's failing, I said calmly. Which is why you needed a new leader. That leader is me. Myra's hands trembled as she clutched her coffee cup. Aram. I didn't. You didn't what? I said, my voice steady but cutting. Expect karma to come so early? Expect me to be the one holding the reins now? Ryan slammed his palm on the desk. You can't do this. I built this. We. Enough, I said sharply, my chest tight but my voice controlled. This isn't about what you think you built. This is about what we're going to build from here. And that starts with a clear understanding. Your time running this company is over. Mira swallowed hard, voice barely audible. Aram. I didn't mean to. You didn't mean to? I echoed, letting the words hang in the air. You destroyed years of trust, every promise I believed in, and somehow, that doesn't matter? She flinched, but I could see her calculating, trying to figure out how to manipulate me. I was trying to survive. You didn't understand my needs back then. I shook my head. No. I understood perfectly. You chose comfort over loyalty. You chose Ryan over me. And I lost everything because of it. But that's the past. This is now. And in the present, I hold the power. Zion stepped forward. Aram's right. Your job isn't to plead. It's to execute. And if you can't, we'll handle it. Ryan's jaw tightened. You think this is some kind of revenge? Some game? I smiled faintly, letting the calm sink in. Not revenge. Justice. Balance. You threw me down once. Now, you see me standing. That's all you need to know. Myra's eyes glistened with unshed tears. Aram. I didn't expect you to. I never thought you'd. You never thought I'd rise from nothing? I said softly. You never thought I'd rebuild my life, my confidence, my career? She didn't answer. Her silence said everything. I continued, voice firm. You will see, Mira. Every decision, every move you make here. I will be watching. Not to punish, not to gloat, but to remind you that what you took from me will never define me. Only I define myself now. Ryan muttered something under his breath, frustration and panic mingling in his voice. This isn't fair. You don't get to just. I cut him off. Fair? Life isn't fair, Ryan. You know that. You learned that when you betrayed me. And now, you're facing the consequences of your own actions. Not me. Me, I did what I needed to do. I worked. I rebuilt. And now I'm here. Lena stepped closer. Time to get to work. The rest is just noise. I nodded, feeling a quiet thrill. Exactly. Let's start with today's agenda. Ryan, Mira, you'll report to me now. Everything is on the table. Transparency. Accountability. And yes, the bar is higher than ever. Mira swallowed, nodding reluctantly. Yes. CEO. Ryan's fists clenched at his sides. Fine, whatever. Let's just get this over with. I gestured to Zion and Lena. Show me the current projects, the deadlines, the problem areas. I want a full report by the end of the day. And I expect solutions, not excuses. Zion leaned toward me. You're calm. I didn't expect you to handle them like this. I exhaled, trying to steady my racing heart. Calm? No. I'm focused. I can't let them see fear or hesitation. That would be weakness. And weakness is exactly what they tried to make me feel for years. Lena smirked. Good. You're like a completely different person now. Confident. Calculated. I allowed myself a small nod. It's taken work. Pain. Anger. Determination. Every step I've taken since they left me behind has brought me here. And I'm not stopping now. Mira looked at me, eyes full of regret. Aram. I wish things could be different. I shook my head, voice soft but resolute. They can't be different, Mira. I won't go back. I won't allow myself to be hurt again. We all have our roles now, and mine isn't forgiving. Mine is leading. Mine is building a future they'll never control. Ryan let out an exasperated sigh. You're ruthless. I smiled faintly. Not ruthless. Prepared. Determined. Strong. And you'll learn, strength is not something you want to challenge lightly. Zion whispered to me, a grin on his face. You're scaring them just by being yourself. I shrugged. Good. Let them feel it. Let them realize the tables have turned. And the sooner they accept it, the better for everyone. Mira glanced down at her desk, voice quiet. Aram. I'm sorry. Truly. For everything. I met her gaze, my eyes steady. Sorry doesn't undo the past, Mira. But it does make a difference in how you choose to behave now. And that is the only thing that matters to me. Ryan muttered under his breath again, frustration plain in every word. This isn't over. You won't just rise above everything. I let the words hang, letting the calm settle over me. Maybe not. But I will rise. And I won't let anyone, not even you, stop me. From this day forward, I define my life, my future, my power. And you will follow the rules I set. Simple as that. Lena gave a subtle nod, confirming my silent control over the room. Zion grinned. Looks like the new era has begun. I let myself breathe, a quiet smile forming. Yes, the new era begins. And this time, I'm the one holding the reins. And for the first time standing in that office, seeing Mira and Ryan frozen before me, I realized something profound. I had become someone they never expected, someone they could no longer manipulate or underestimate. And that was my first real victory. It started with small mistakes. Missed deadlines. Miscommunications. Minor errors that spiraled because Mira and Ryan were still clinging to their old arrogance, thinking I'd never notice. I walked into the office one morning, watching Mira fumble with a presentation. I think I need more time, she stammered, her face pale. I folded my arms, leaning against the doorway. You think you need more time? Mira, this was due yesterday. The client called me personally to ask why we were behind schedule. She swallowed hard, avoiding my gaze. I didn't realize. You didn't realize? I interrupted, voice sharp but calm. Do you understand the difference between realizing and being accountable? Because this is not realizing. This is negligence. Ryan, hovering nearby, muttered, It's just one small mistake, Aram. Relax. I turned to him, eyebrows raised. Small mistake? Ryan, every small mistake you ignore multiplies. And this isn't a mistake you ignore anymore. This is part of your job. Your responsibility. He clenched his jaw. You're acting like a tyrant. I let out a hollow laugh. A tyrant? No, Ryan. I'm acting like someone who refuses to be betrayed again. This company is not a playground. And neither of you are children anymore. Lena appeared beside me, her expression calm. They need direction, Aram. And you're giving it. Firm, but fair. I exhaled, forcing my patience to the surface. Firm, yes. Fair, yes. But I won't accept excuses. You had years to learn responsibility, and you wasted it. Now, consequences are in play. Mira flinched. Aram. I'm sorry. I really am. I didn't mean. I cut her off. Sorry doesn't fix this, Mira. Sorry doesn't pay for lost clients, ruined deadlines, or shattered trust. Accountability does. Action does. Change does. Start acting like the professional I know you can be, or step aside. She swallowed hard, nodding. Yes. CEO. Ryan let out a frustrated sigh. This is ridiculous. You think scolding us makes things better? We've done fine for years. I stepped closer, my voice low and deliberate. You think you've done fine? That's the problem, Ryan. You thought you were untouchable. You thought your arrogance would cover your incompetence. Guess what? It doesn't. He clenched his fists, teeth grinding. You're ruining us. You're changing you, I said evenly. Exactly. Because the old you, the careless, selfish, entitled you, doesn't exist here anymore. Not under my leadership. Lena's voice broke in, calm but firm. They're going to learn the hard way, Aram. But sometimes, hard lessons are the most effective. I nodded, letting the silence hang in the room. Myra's eyes welled with tears, her hands trembling. Aram. I didn't realize how much. You didn't realize? I repeated, voice sharper than intended. Do you know how many times I covered for your mistakes, Mira? How many times I picked up after you, cleaned up the mess, held the team together while you thought about yourself? She flinched. I. No more, I said softly but firmly. Not anymore. You will either do your job properly, or you will be replaced. And trust me, I will replace you if I have to. Ryan's face twisted in anger. You can't threaten me like this. I've been here longer than you. I don't care how long you've been here, I said, stepping closer, eyes locked on his. Experience without responsibility is useless. You were my friend, Ryan, but friendship doesn't mean you get free passes. It never did. And it certainly doesn't now. Lena's calm presence grounded me. They're shaking because they're finally seeing the consequences of their actions. You're showing them what it means to take responsibility. I took a deep breath, letting the weight of the past settle into determination. I won't let them destroy what I've built. They learned the hard way last time, now they're learning again. Only this time, it's public. Visible. Inescapable. The first client meeting with them in charge was a disaster. Mira stumbled through slides, Ryan contradicted her, and I watched silently, arms crossed. When it ended, I called them into my office. Sit, I said, pointing to the chairs. They obeyed, faces pale. I watched that meeting, I began, voice calm but cutting. Do you know what I saw? Panic. Confusion. Lack of preparation. And worst of all, disrespect for the client's time and trust. Myra's voice trembled. Aram. I'm sorry. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again. I shook my head. Words, Mira. Not action. I don't want apologies. I want results. You have a week. 1 week to fix this, or I'll make staffing changes. Ryan leaned back, arms crossed. You can't do this. We've earned our positions. I leaned forward, my eyes locking on his. Earned? You think the past earns you the right to fail now? Success is not inherited. It's maintained, Ryan. And if you fail to maintain it, you step aside. Simple. Mira looked down, tears threatening. I understand. Good, I said softly. Understanding is the first step. But understanding alone doesn't fix anything. Actions do. Responsibility does. Change does. Zion appeared at the door, nodding subtly. They're learning, Aram. Slowly, but they're learning. I exhaled, feeling a surge of satisfaction. Not joy, this wasn't about gloating, but a quiet, steady thrill. They were finally seeing that power wasn't just a title. It wasn't just words. It was action, control, and accountability. You see, I continued, voice calm but firm, this company is no longer yours to manipulate. No longer your playground. Every decision you make now is under scrutiny. Every move, observed. And every failure, consequences. Ryan's jaw tightened. You're merciless. I smiled faintly. Not merciless. Realistic. And precise. You had your chance to be great, you wasted it. Now, you're learning what it means to face consequences. It's time you see the world as it really is, without shortcuts, without lies, without manipulation. Mira whispered, almost to herself, I didn't think he'd come back like this. I thought he'd broken. I let that hang, letting her realize the truth on her own. I wasn't broken. I had been, yes, but that version of me was gone. Rebuilt, sharpened, determined. Ryan muttered, frustration evident. You can't control everything. You can't. I interrupted, voice calm, final. Oh, I can. Right now, I am controlling everything. Your time, your performance, your future in this company, all of it. And trust me, the stakes have never been higher. Because failure is no longer an option. Not for me, not for you, and not for this company. Lena stepped beside me, voice firm. They'll learn. They'll adapt, or they'll be left behind. That's the reality of leadership, Aram. And you've embraced it fully. I exhaled slowly, letting the satisfaction sink in. Not maliciously, not out of spite, but because the world had finally realigned. They had underestimated me once. They would not again. Mayra's voice quavered. I hope we can recover from this. I met her gaze evenly, unflinching. Recover? Maybe. But the old dynamic, that's gone forever. You'll learn to respect boundaries. You'll learn accountability. You'll learn consequences. And if you don't, you'll learn the hard way. Ryan's expression darkened, but I saw fear flicker in his eyes. A small, satisfying thrill coursed through me. The tables had turned. For the first time, I wasn't running from betrayal. I wasn't crushed by humiliation. I was the one in control. And watching their perfect world slowly crumble under the weight of their mistakes, well, it was a quiet, sweet kind of justice. I sat in my office, watching Mira and Ryan scramble through the latest client reports. Their faces were pale, eyes darting nervously, hands shaking slightly as they tried to fix mistakes they had ignored for years. Zion leaned against the doorframe, smirking. You really are enjoying this, aren't you? I smiled faintly. It's not enjoyment. It's justice. Karma catching up. They made choices that hurt me, and now they're learning the consequences. Lena passed by, carrying a stack of schedules. And they're actually responding. Nervous, yes, but responsive. They're adapting. I nodded, leaning back in my chair. Good. Let them feel the pressure. Let them understand the weight of their mistakes. Mira approached me hesitantly, her voice trembling. Aram. I'm sorry for everything. Truly. I never wanted to hurt you like that. I looked at her coolly. Sorry doesn't undo the past, Mira. It doesn't erase the betrayal, the humiliation, or the years of wasted trust. But it does give you one thing, the chance to act properly from now on. That's all you get. She swallowed, nodding. I understand. I'll do whatever it takes to fix my mistakes. I leaned forward, voice low and deliberate. Good. I hope you mean that. Because from now on, your performance is under my scrutiny. Every decision, every action. I'll be watching. And if you fail again, there's no leniency. Ryan scoffed from across the room. You think scaring us is going to change anything? You can't intimidate me. I raised an eyebrow, letting the silence stretch. Intimidation isn't my goal, Ryan. Clarity is. You've been careless for years. Now you see what it means to have someone in charge who won't tolerate mistakes. He gritted his teeth. You're ruthless. I smiled faintly. Not ruthless. Precise. Determined. Focused. Qualities you once mocked, but now, you rely on them to survive. Lena walked over, calm but pointed. See? That's the difference between leadership and friendship, Ryan. You had your fun for years. Now you're learning consequences. Ryan's fists clenched. I never thought you'd come back like this. Stronger, smarter. Not broken like I assumed. I leaned back, letting the words hang in the air. That's the thing about people you underestimate, they rise. And when they rise, they make sure you never forget it. Mira bit her lip, voice barely audible. Aram. I regret everything. I let her stew in the guilt, letting her regret sink in without pity. Regret is fine, Mira. It's natural. But regret alone doesn't rebuild trust. Action does. Accountability does. Change does. And you have to decide if you want to be part of that, or fade into irrelevance. She swallowed hard, nodding. I want to. I want to prove myself. Good, I said softly. Then start now. No excuses. No shortcuts. No hiding behind me or Ryan. You're responsible for your work. And I'll hold you to it. Ryan muttered, frustrated. You think you're untouchable now? That you can just control everything? I leaned forward, voice firm. Control is earned through action, Ryan. Not arrogance. Not friendship. Not betrayal. You'll learn that, whether you like it or not. Zion chuckled. And they will. Slowly, painfully, but they'll learn. And you'll enjoy watching it. I didn't respond. The satisfaction was quiet but intense. The subtle fear in their eyes, the way Mira fumbled over her words, the tightness in Ryan's jaw, it was proof. Proof that the tables had turned, proof that I was no longer weak, proof that karma had finally caught up. Mira approached my desk, carrying a set of reports. Aram. I've corrected the errors. I double-checked everything. I hope it's satisfactory. I took the papers, scanning them carefully. Not bad, I said, voice measured. But remember this, perfection isn't optional anymore. Mistakes cost more than just embarrassment. They cost opportunity. And I won't let negligence happen under my watch. Her face paled. I understand. I'll do better. You'd better, I said firmly. Because this company, my life, my future, will no longer be jeopardized by people who think their comfort matters more than responsibility. Ryan muttered something under his breath, voice low but sharp. You think this is enough? That scaring us will make us better? I stood, stepping closer to him, calm but intimidating. It's not about scaring you, Ryan. It's about making you accountable. You had 10 years to be a man of integrity. You chose arrogance and betrayal. Now, you'll learn the consequences of your choices. Lena added, and you're learning quickly. Fear or respect, it doesn't matter. The important thing is that you're finally paying attention. I watched Mira and Ryan exchange glances, their panic growing. It was subtle, but I could see it. The foundations of their so-called confidence were crumbling. The perfect world they built for themselves was showing cracks. Myra's voice trembled. Aram. I feel like I'm failing all over again. I let a small smile play at the corners of my lips. That's because you are, Mira. And it's exactly what you need to feel. Failure teaches more than comfort ever could. And now, it's your reality. You'll adapt or you'll be left behind. Ryan's jaw tightened, his voice clipped. You can't just. Watch me, I said simply. I won't give mercy where none was given to me. I'm not the person I was before. I'm stronger. Smarter. Focused. And I won't let anyone, a friend, lover, or former ally, undermine what I've built. Zion leaned closer, whispering, "Look at them." The fear, the realization. They finally get it. I exhaled slowly, letting it sink in. Good. Let them feel it. Let them understand that betrayal has consequences. Let them know that underestimating me was the biggest mistake of their lives. Myra's voice was quiet, almost broken. Aram. I hope someday you can forgive me. I shook my head, voice steady. Forgiveness isn't mine to give, Mira. I don't need forgiveness. I need action, accountability, and change. Everything else is irrelevant. And right now, change is the only thing that matters. Ryan muttered bitterly, "You've changed everything. You've taken control. And I can't stop you." I met his gaze evenly. Exactly. You can't stop me. You never could. I was just asleep before. Weak, naive, trusting. Now I'm awake. Focused. Determined. And the tables have turned. Lena smiled faintly. The perfect world they built? It's collapsing, slowly but surely. And you're watching it happen with clarity, Aram. I nodded, letting the satisfaction settle. Clarity, justice, karma. It's not about gloating. It's about balance. They hurt me. They underestimated me. And now, they see the consequences. Mira looked down, voice trembling. Aram. I'll work harder. I'll be better. I leaned back, my tone calm but firm. Start immediately. There's no more room for mistakes, excuses, or arrogance. This is your chance to rebuild your own reputation. But remember, the window is small, and I won't hesitate to close it if you fail. Ryan's fists clenched, and for a moment I saw anger, fear, and disbelief flicker across his face. Perfect. I exhaled slowly, letting the quiet tension fill the room. The taste of revenge wasn't sweet in the way people imagine, it was precise, controlled, deliberate. Watching them scramble under their own mistakes, realizing the power shift, that was far more satisfying than any shout, slap, or insult. Zion nudged me. They've never respected anyone like this before. And now, they will. I smiled faintly, turning my gaze back to Mira and Ryan. Exactly. Respect is earned. Consequences are felt. And karma is inevitable. For the first time in months, I felt the calm of someone who had survived betrayal, rebuilt themselves, and now watched the scales balance. The past was behind me. The present was mine. And the future was something I was finally ready to claim. The office was quieter than usual. Mira and Ryan had stopped trying to cover their mistakes with excuses. Their faces were pale, their confidence shattered. I watched from my desk, arms folded, letting them feel the weight of every decision they'd made. Mira approached me cautiously, her voice trembling. Aram. I've done everything you asked. Every client is up to date. Every deadline met. I didn't look up immediately. Every client? I said slowly, letting the words linger. Every deadline? And have you double-checked for errors? Oversights? Miscalculations? She swallowed, eyes flicking to Ryan. Yes. I've checked everything. Ryan stepped forward, jaw tight. Aram, this is ridiculous. We've been running this company for years. You can't just micromanage everything. I finally looked at him, my gaze sharp and unwavering. Micromanage? Ryan, you don't get it. This isn't about control. This is about accountability. Something you and Mira conveniently ignored when it suited you. Mira flinched. Aram. Not another word, I said firmly. You had 10 years to prove yourselves. You chose comfort over responsibility. You chose to betray me personally and professionally. And now, you're paying the price. Every action, every error, every delay, consequences are unavoidable. Ryan's face twisted with frustration. This isn't fair. You can't. Fair? I interrupted. Fair is what you had the luxury of when I trusted you. But fairness doesn't exist in life, Ryan. You learned that the hard way 10 years ago. And you're learning it again now. Zion appeared at my side, calm and confident. They're breaking, Aram. And it's exactly what they need. This is the only way they'll understand. I nodded, letting the quiet tension settle. Yes. They need to feel it, experience it, and finally realize that arrogance and betrayal have consequences. And I'll make sure they do. Myra's voice was barely a whisper. Aram, please. I'm trying. I don't want to fail anymore. I leaned forward, voice low and deliberate. Trying isn't enough, Mira. Action is. Accountability is. Competence is. You either prove you've changed, or I replace you. Simple as that. Ryan muttered under his breath, frustration evident. You've changed so much. I can't believe it. You're ruthless. I smiled faintly. Ruthless? No. Determined. Focused. Strong. All things you once mocked. Now, you rely on them to survive. Lena stepped into the room, calm and poised. They're finally realizing that power isn't given. It's earned. And right now, they're learning the hard way. I let that sink in. Exactly. I've rebuilt myself from the ashes of betrayal. Every mistake they make now is a reminder. A lesson. And they're finally paying attention. Mira looked down, tears threatening to fall. Aram. I regret everything. I was wrong to hurt you. I shook my head, voice steady. Regret doesn't undo the past, Mira. But it can guide your actions now. That's all you get. Actions matter. Everything else is irrelevant. Ryan's fists clenched, voice clipped. You think this is enough? Watching us scramble? Scaring us? I leaned back, calm and composed. It's not about scaring you. It's about reality. Consequences. Responsibility. You failed me before. Now, you're learning that no one else will save you from your mistakes. Zion smirked. And the look on their faces? Priceless. They finally understand. I let my gaze sweep over them, letting the silence do the work. Myra's eyes darted nervously, Ryan's jaw tightened, and I felt a quiet thrill. This wasn't about revenge. It was about balance. Karma. Justice. Mira whispered, voice trembling. I never thought. I never thought you'd rise like this. Stronger, smarter, unstoppable. I allowed a small smile. I wasn't weak for long. And now, I'm in control. You underestimated me once. You won't again. Ryan muttered bitterly, anger flashing in his eyes. You've taken everything, our company, our lives. This isn't over. I leaned forward, voice sharp but calm. It is over, Ryan. The tables have turned. You lost your advantage the moment you betrayed me. Everything from this point on is under my control. And your choices now determine whether you survive professionally or fail completely. Lena nodded subtly. They're learning. Slowly, but inevitably. I exhaled, letting the satisfaction settle. Not out of malice, but precision. The quiet, controlled power of watching them face their mistakes, scrambling under their own incompetence, was far more satisfying than any confrontation, any shout, any argument. Myra's voice trembled again. Aram. I'll do whatever it takes to make this right. I let her stew in her own guilt a moment longer. Then I said softly, good. You have no choice. Prove yourself, or step aside. The company, the clients, the future, none of it will tolerate mediocrity. Ryan muttered again, voice low and bitter. You can't control everything. You can't. I cut him off. Oh, I can. Every process, every client interaction, every deadline, it's under my watch. And failure will not be tolerated. You had years of freedom. That era is over. Zion leaned closer, whispering with a grin. They're finally scared, Aram. And that fear, it'll teach them more than any lecture ever could. I nodded, letting it sink in. Exactly. Let them feel it. Let them understand the consequences of their actions. Let them realize they underestimated me. The past is gone. The present, and their future, is mine to shape. Mira looked at me, voice trembling. Aram. I never thought I'd see this. You're not the person I left behind. You're stronger. I let the statement hang. I had to be. Betrayal teaches lessons no one else can. And the moment you think you've broken someone, you underestimate their capacity to rise. I've risen, Mira. And now, you see what happens to those who doubt me. Ryan's jaw tightened, eyes flashing. You'll regret this. One day, you'll see. I leaned back, voice calm and unwavering. Regret is yours, Ryan. I have no need for it. I acted when I was weak, trusted when I shouldn't have, and lost when I was blind. Now, I am awake. Focused. And every action you take under my leadership will remind you of that. Lena placed a hand on my shoulder, voice soft but firm. The past can't touch you anymore. The present is yours. And they're finally learning it the hard way. I exhaled slowly, letting a quiet smile form. Yes. Let them learn. Let them face the consequences they tried to avoid for so long. Let them see that betrayal has weight. And that weight can't be ignored. Mira whispered, almost broken, I never thought I'd be here, like this. I wish. Don't wish, I said softly, but firmly. Act. Change. Take responsibility. This is your only chance to prove you're capable of more than arrogance and betrayal. Ryan muttered bitterly, this isn't over, you'll see. I let the words pass over me without a flicker of fear. The tables have turned. The era of underestimating me is gone. Your world is shifting. And I am the one holding the lever. Zion nodded beside me. The lesson is clear, Aram. Justice doesn't shout. It's quiet, precise, inevitable. And they're living proof. I looked at Mira and Ryan, letting the truth sink in fully. The panic, the fear, the realization, it was complete. Their perfect world, built on arrogance and manipulation, was crumbling. And I wasn't the one causing it. Their choices, their actions, brought them here. I smiled faintly, voice calm. Karma doesn't need my help. It only needs patience. And now, it has caught up. Lena whispered, they'll remember this moment forever. And so will you. I exhaled, letting the satisfaction settle into a quiet, steady power. I had survived betrayal, rebuilt myself, and now watched the consequences unfold in front of my eyes. The past was behind me. The present was mine. And the future, finally felt like something I controlled completely. The office felt different that morning. Mira and Ryan moved quietly, shadows of their former arrogance replaced by cautious efficiency. I watched from my desk, arms folded, letting the tension settle. Zion leaned against the doorway, smirking. You've changed the atmosphere completely. They're walking on eggshells. I smiled faintly. Good. They need to understand that power comes with accountability. And they're finally realizing it. Lena passed by, her expression calm. They're still trying, Aram. Nervously, yes, but they're trying. I nodded, letting myself feel a flicker of pride. That's all I wanted. Action, accountability, and change. The rest is up to them. Mira approached, holding a stack of client reports. Aram. I've reviewed everything. I think we're finally on track. I looked at her carefully. On track? Have you double-checked every detail? Every number? Yes, I have, she said, voice steady but nervous. Everything's accurate. No mistakes. I leaned back, letting a small smile play on my lips. Good. That's the kind of diligence I expect. Consistency, precision, accountability. Not excuses, not shortcuts. Ryan muttered from across the room, frustration still evident. You've changed everything. This company feels different under your leadership. I let the words hang. It should feel different, Ryan. I am different. And if you want to survive here, you adapt or you're gone. Simple as that. Mira bit her lip, voice soft. Aram. I never thought I'd see this. You're not the person I left behind. You're stronger, smarter, in control. I allowed a small nod. I had to be. Betrayal teaches lessons no one else can. I've rebuilt myself, Ryan and Mira. And now, this company is running under someone who won't tolerate mistakes, deceit, or weakness. Ryan clenched his fists. And what about us? Our roles? Our future here? I leaned forward, voice calm and steady. You have two choices. You either step up, take accountability, and prove you're capable of more than arrogance and complacency, or you step aside and let others who are willing do the work. The choice is yours. Myra's eyes glistened with unshed tears. I want to prove myself. I'll do whatever it takes. I nodded slowly. Good. Actions, Mira. Not promises. That's all I care about. Zion whispered, grinning. Look at them. They finally get it. They've realized the tables turned, and now they're learning humility. I exhaled, feeling a quiet satisfaction. Yes. Humility and accountability. Those are the lessons they refused to learn before. And now, they have no choice. Lena joined me, voice calm. You've come a long way, Aram. From betrayal to rebuilding, and now, to leading. And you've done it without losing yourself. I allowed a small, reflective smile. It wasn't easy. Every day was a fight. Against fear, doubt, exhaustion, and memories of what I lost. But I survived. And I grew. Mira spoke softly, almost reverently. Aram. I hope someday you can forgive me. For everything. I shook my head gently. Forgiveness isn't mine to give, Mira. I don't need it. What matters now is action. Change. Accountability. Prove that you've learned, or step aside. That's the only thing that matters. Ryan muttered bitterly, You've changed everything. You've taken control. And we can't fight it. I let the words settle over him. Exactly. You can't fight it. You never could. And now, you're learning that every choice has a consequence. Every action, a ripple. And the past will not dictate the present or the future anymore. Lena whispered, The lesson is complete, Aram. They're seeing it, finally. And you're free to move forward. I exhaled slowly, letting a sense of calm wash over me. Yes. Free to move forward. To rebuild my life, my career, my future. And to finally close the chapter that defined so many painful years. Mira approached again, voice timid. Aram, thank you. For giving me a chance to make things right. I looked at her steadily. The chance is yours to take, Mira. Not a gift. Responsibility is earned, not given. Ryan's voice was low, almost grudgingly respectful. You've made us see things clearly. I won't forget it. I nodded, voice calm. Good. Let it guide your actions. That's all I ask. Zion leaned closer, whispering with a grin. You've come full circle, Aram. Betrayal, rebuilding, leadership, and now, closure. I let the thought settle. Closure. Yes. Not vengeance, not malice, just balance. Justice served quietly, precisely, without losing myself in the process. Lena smiled. And now, your future is yours. Clean slate, Aram. You've earned it. I exhaled, letting the tension leave my shoulders for the first time in years. Yes. My future, mine to shape. And I'm not going to waste it. Mira looked at me, tears finally spilling over. Aram. I'm truly sorry. For everything. I let her words wash over me, feeling no anger, no bitterness, just clarity. I don't need your apologies, Mira. I needed this moment to see them take responsibility. And now, they are. That's enough. Ryan muttered, voice low and begrudging. You've become someone I can respect. Even if I hate it. I allowed a small smile. Respect isn't given freely, Ryan. It's earned. And you'll earn it through action. By proving yourselves capable, accountable, and diligent. That's all that matters. Zion nudged me gently. And the best part? You've done it all without losing yourself. Strong, calm, focused. Unstoppable. I nodded, feeling the truth in his words. Yes. I've rebuilt myself. From betrayal to rebuilding, from loss to leadership, from weakness to strength. And now, the future is mine. Myra's voice trembled again. Aram, thank you. Truly. For showing me what it means to be accountable, to grow. I met her gaze, calm, unwavering. The lesson isn't about me. It's about you, learning to face your own actions. The past is gone. The present, and your future, is yours to shape. Do it wisely. Ryan muttered again, quieter this time. You've changed everything. And I can't believe it. I allowed a faint smile. Believe it, Ryan. Because this is the new reality. One where betrayal has consequences, and integrity is rewarded. And I am finally free to move forward. Lena whispered, voice soft, almost reverent, and you've done it, Aram. You've survived, rebuilt, led, and finally, closed the chapter. I exhaled, letting the weight lift fully. Yes, closed the chapter. Ready for what comes next. And this time, I define my life, my choices, my path. And no one will ever take that from me again. The office was calm, almost eerily so. Mira and Ryan moved efficiently, no hesitation, no arrogance, just focused action. I watched quietly from my corner office, sipping my coffee, letting the silence do its work. Zion leaned against the doorway, a smirk on his face. They're finally behaving, Aram. Almost respectful. I allowed a small, satisfied smile. Respect is earned, Zion. And now, they're learning it the hard way. Lena appeared, calm and composed. You've guided them well, Aram. Firm, precise, and without losing yourself. That's rare. I nodded slowly. It's taken years of pain, failure, and betrayal to get here. But I've survived. I've grown. And now, I control what matters. Mira approached cautiously, voice soft. Aram. I've learned a lot. About responsibility, about integrity, about consequences. I leaned back in my chair, studying her carefully. Good. That's exactly what I hoped you would. Not apologies. Not empty promises. Real understanding, reflected in action. Her voice quivered. I hope I can prove it every day. I nodded. Prove it through consistency, Mira. Every project, every task, every interaction, that's how you rebuild trust. Words aren't enough. Actions are the only proof that change is real. Ryan muttered under his breath, still bitter. You've taken everything from us. Our freedom, our control, and you did it silently. Precisely. I leaned forward, voice calm, deliberate. Ryan. I didn't take anything. You lost your freedom the moment you betrayed me. I'm just here to show you what happens when choices have consequences. He clenched his fists. You're merciless. I allowed a small smile. Not merciless. Just awake. Focused. Determined. You had 10 years to rise above mediocrity. You didn't. Now, you understand the cost of failing. Lena stepped closer. And you did it without losing yourself, Aram. That's what makes this true karma. They see it clearly, and you remain untarnished. I exhaled slowly, letting the quiet thrill settle. Exactly. Karma isn't about vengeance. It's about balance. About seeing the world correct itself. They hurt me. They underestimated me. And now, they're learning exactly what that means. Myra's voice was tentative. Aram. I feel like I've been reborn, in a way. I see the errors I made, the choices that hurt you and myself. I let her words sink in, nodding slowly. Yes. Reflection is good. But reflection alone is not enough. Change, accountability, and action, that's what matters. You get the chance to live differently now. Don't waste it. Ryan muttered bitterly, you've changed, completely. I can't believe it. You're unstoppable. I allowed a faint, controlled smile. I was broken before. Betrayed, humiliated, hollow. But every hardship, every loss, forged me into someone stronger. Smarter. Focused. And now, I'm unstoppable in the only way that matters, determined, precise, unbreakable. Zion whispered beside me, a grin in his voice. They're finally seeing the consequences of their actions. They'll never underestimate anyone again. Especially you. I nodded. Good. Let that knowledge sink in. Let them realize that betrayal isn't free. That arrogance comes with consequences. And that underestimating someone can be fatal to their pride. Myra's voice trembled. Aram. I don't know if I can ever make up for the past. But I want to try. I met her gaze evenly. You can't make up the past, Mira. That's gone. All that matters is the present. The choices you make from now on. Prove yourself through diligence, integrity, and humility. That's how you move forward. Ryan muttered again, quieter this time. You've changed everything. And I can't fight it. I let the words settle over him. You won't fight it. You can't. Everything you see around you, the company, the teams, the clients, it's all aligned with someone who won't tolerate weakness. And that someone is me. Lena smiled faintly. You've achieved closure, Aram. Not revenge. Not hatred. Closure. And they're finally learning the lessons they ignored for years. I exhaled, letting a sense of calm wash over me. Yes, closure. Not the closure of anger or malice. But of understanding, balance, and justice. The past is behind me. The future is mine. Mira approached again, voice soft. Aram, thank you. For showing me what it means to face the consequences of my actions. To grow. I allowed a quiet nod. The lesson isn't about me, Mira. It's about you and Ryan finally seeing what happens when choices are made without care or loyalty. You've both learned. And now, it's time to apply it. Ryan muttered under his breath, almost grudgingly respectful. You've proven yourself. I respect it. Even if I hate it. I smiled faintly. Respect isn't given freely, Ryan. It's earned. And you'll earn it through action, diligence, and humility. That's the only thing that matters now. Zion leaned closer, whispering, you've taken the hard path. Betrayal, pain, rebuilding, and now, leadership and closure. You've done it all without losing yourself. I nodded slowly, letting the weight of years of betrayal and rebuilding sink in. Yes. I've survived, I've grown, I've reclaimed my life. And I'm finally free to live on my terms. Lena whispered softly, the new you is unstoppable. Balanced. Clear. Focused. And they'll never forget it. I exhaled fully, letting the tension lift completely. Yes, the past cannot touch me. The present is mine. And the future. I will define it. No betrayal, no arrogance, no manipulation can ever control me again. Mira's voice quivered. Aram. I hope someday you can be happy. Truly happy. I allowed a faint, reflective smile. Happiness isn't given, Mira. It's earned. Through resilience, through patience, through living rightly. I've earned mine through everything I've survived. And now, I can move forward without looking back. Ryan muttered, voice low, almost reluctantly, you've changed everything. And I can't believe how far you've come. I let a small, controlled smile form. Believe it, Ryan. Because this is the new reality. One where betrayal has consequences. One where integrity is rewarded. And one where I define my life, my choices, and my future. Zion grinned. And that's the final lesson. Justice, karma, and strength, quietly achieved, without losing yourself. I nodded, letting the moment settle. Exactly. Karma isn't loud. It doesn't shout. It doesn't gloat. It waits, precise, inevitable, and it always finds its way. Lena whispered, voice soft, and now, the chapter is closed, Aram. The new era begins. I exhaled, letting the quiet satisfaction of balance, closure, and empowerment wash over me. Yes, closed, balanced, and ready. The past is behind me. The present is mine. And the future will be defined by no one but me. Mira and Ryan stood silently, pale and humbled, finally understanding the consequences of arrogance, betrayal, and underestimating someone they thought was weak. I leaned back in my chair, voice calm but firm. This is the new beginning. For me, for the company, and for anyone who thought they could control me. The past cannot hurt me anymore. The lessons have been learned. And the future is mine. Zion whispered, smiling, and what a future it will be, Aram. Strong, focused, unstoppable, and fully yours. I allowed myself one final, quiet smile. Yes, mine. And I won't waste it. The office was still. Balanced. Silent. Controlled. And for the first time in years, I felt the weight of betrayal lift completely. I was free. I had survived. I had reclaimed everything. And now, I could finally live.